Hey guys, welcome back to the Goodfellow Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Barone, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe. And don't forget about the Patreon channel and the Goodfellow shop with all the memorabilia, shirts, and everything like that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today, on the Goodfellow Podcast, this thing that said he worked for some sort of an organization where he actually wanted to set up all these politicians and stuff like that to have leverage on them. There's a lot of things that the government is not telling us. Let's face it. Are there real aliens or not? In some place, why does the Vatican have so much money? Why are they billionaires, trillionaires, whatever the hell they are? I mean, not even millionaires. They got so much stuff and they hide it, but there's reasons for it. Hey guys, welcome back to the Goodfellow Podcast. We're going to just jump right into it. Today we're going to do a little something different. My assistant and myself were talking about running back and forth with some stuff, and we were talking about conspiracy theories. So we agreed to see what you guys think about what my perspective is on conspiracy theories as an associate, as a regular guy, as a wise guy. And so send in your comments if you like this kind of content, as well as the rest of the wise guy stuff that I do. Maybe which one you like better or whatever. And I'll stick to what you guys like as well, too. But this is my perspective. So let me hear your thoughts on it anyways, and hopefully maybe you'll like it. And these are my real, honest, true thoughts. So hit me with what you got.
Okay, first one is 9/11 was an inside job.
Oh, yeah, I definitely believe that, too. There's just too much. Well, let's put it this way: as an associate, and as a being around the wise guys for over 30 years, they had said something about the guy who owned the building. All of a sudden, I forget, like a week, a month before, put all kinds of different insurance, terrorist insurance on the building. If that really is true, that to me is an inside job. To be honest with you. Listen, when you're a guy like myself, first of all, you're going to question a lot of stuff, but you can see the corruption in the government and the law enforcement and anything, because you're like, yeah, okay. It's just easier for somebody like myself to doubt stuff. And when I heard a couple of other, there's also some other stuff, am I right? There's also some other stuff about the plane, why the World Trade Center, why this, and there's just too much to get into, and I won't get into it. But I do believe, in my opinion, the guy knew something. Somebody tipped the guy off, and it's definitely true, in my opinion. Think about it like this: why does somebody all of a sudden it gets murdered, and then all of a sudden they go, well, the girl's the husband killed her. And then all of a sudden they find out that there was an insurance policy taken out the month before. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of theory, and that kind of that's what makes it questionable. So you're right on that one. That's why I mentioned it, because it just seems too coincidental. And can something be a coincidence? Yeah, I do believe in that too. But when it's, when the guy collected all this money for that, no, it's too close to home. And let me tell you something. A lot of these guys, I don't trust a lot of these rich people like that. They've always got something up their sleeve. You always got to watch out. You want to hit me with another one of those? I hope that answered anybody else about that too.
Next one is the moon landing was a hoax.
I'm on the fence with that one a little bit. I do. Because they said how, I don't know if you remember, they said about the flag. How did it blow up there? There's no air up there, and how was it blowing on the moon? So that was a little bit questionable. Then there is something about the moon that I think is, somebody had mentioned that it's not what am I looking for the word? It's not it's a man-made moon. It's not natural in the environment. Artificial. I do believe, in my opinion, I think there's something on the other side of the moon that nobody's ever talked about, and they're saying that it's a man-made or an alien-made something, and that there's aliens in it. Somebody said that something hit the moon when they were on the moon, supposedly, and something hit the moon and it rang like a bell inside for I don't know how many minutes after till like it dies down. So, did they really go to the moon? I'm not sure if that's 100%. I did watch it when I was a kid. It was in the, I believe, in the 60s. It was a big deal to watch it. I don't know. Could they have faked it? Anything's possible with the government. But so I'm on the fence with that one. I can't really say.
Well, there's several pieces of evidence that go with that one.
Okay.
There were no stars visible in the photos.
Okay.
The lighting and shadows appear inconsistent, like studio lighting.
Oh, okay. See. Mm-hmm.
And also, NASA lost the original tapes of the moon landing.
And that's where I'm a little bit on the fence. I'm glad you brought that up because somebody said that they lost a lot of those tapes purposely. Now, if you remember, they happen to misplace a lot of things when they don't want it to be found. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm a little bit on the fence with it. But that's good that you brought that up because I can't remember everything, but I am still on the fence with it. Yep. So I appreciate that. And how about another one?
Next one is Area 51 and aliens.
So the Area 51 at one time, it might have held aliens that they said crashed in Roswell, New Mexico. That's, I guess, what they're really talking about. They might have switched it around, obviously. Listen, in the government, I personally believe that even the president doesn't have a certain amount of power. They said true power lies behind the throne. And I definitely believe there's entities within the government that are so secretive and they can do anything they want. And I do believe that. So was there a alien spaceship that crashed? I do believe that because they had some evidence of stuff from the crash site itself. Go ahead.
Some of the pieces of evidence that sparked out on this one is that in Roswell, 1947, the crash was linked to UFO theories. You also have, in 2019, the USA Navy admitted to real unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs.
Mm-hmm.
Former workers like Bob Lazar claimed the government reverse-engineered alien tech, and then also there's heavy secrecy, certain restricted airspaces, and stuff like that, Area 51.
Well, there are also even more, not only just over Area 51, there's places in Antarctica you can't fly over.
Right. That would, yeah.
And there's also another guy that flew in Antarctica back in the days before I think they had that, law where you can't fly over. And he flew inside a tunnel, and there was a whole city in Antarctica, he said. Hey, guys, I apologize for the interruption, but I got to thank my guys from Source CBD. Today's episode is only because of them. They have tropical ointments, gummies, tinctures, and much, much more. This is good for joint pain, stress relief, which is one of the reasons why I take it, muscle recovery, everything. Believe it or not, they even have stuff for the dogs, if you believe it. Listen, you guys want to try it, go to sourcecbdhemp.com and try it. And don't forget to mention Goodfellows for a 20% discount. Thanks again for tuning in. And this is, oh my goodness, this is delicious. Thanks, guys. He said there's actually heat coming from there, like a radiation, something coming up from there. So we can't explain the Bermuda Triangle. We can't fly over that though. So there's a lot of things that the government is not telling us. Let's face it. Are there real aliens or not? I believe that there are. I don't believe that we are not the only beings in the whole universe. It just can't be. That we talked about a little bit about the pyramids we were just talking about.
Right.
And so why is the pyramids, they said it mimics the same, what we can see in the sky of Orion's belt. Now, it doesn't line up perfectly with Orion's belt, but they said so many years ago, by every 25,000 years or something like that, it lines up perfectly with Orion's belt because the way the Earth tilts or the way whatever it was. So, listen, I do believe in aliens. I do believe that the government's not telling us 100% of everything. Why would they? As you can see about what they're doing with our food and everything. They would tell you, eat organic, do this, don't eat this, don't. What are we doing? We're jumping from one thing to another. We don't know. That's just the way I feel about it, because I look at it like I've always said, I was never a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a conservative. I'm not nothing. I'm just a person who makes a common sense in my own mind what it may be or may not be. So I do believe in aliens and stuff like that. Yep, I do.
The next one is Illuminati and the New World Order.
The Illuminati's been around for a long time. But I don't think it's as exactly like from what I heard, they're not really good people. Like in other words, it's a certain society, and they kind of run things in this world too, supposedly. So they're not really good, like a good thing like the Freemasons and stuff like that. Those people ran a lot of things. They controlled. Look, that's why I said there's always what you would call shadow governments within the government. Uh, Listen, I can't explain it all, but I do believe in the Illuminati. Just like I believed in the Freemasons and stuff like that too. I believe that there's other things like I believe even the Vatican. I believe even they have stuff that they not telling everybody, buried in the Vatican someplace. Why is the Vatican have so much money? Why are they billionaires, trillionaires, whatever the hell they are? I mean, not even millionaires. They got so much stuff, and they hide it. But there's reasons for it, and the only reason I can come up with some of the things is you don't want to lose your power. When you lose the power, you lose a lot. So you always want to maintain that level of control. And a lot of these entities, these shadow governments and stuff, it's about control. And, we're just peons compared to them. But yeah, I believe in the Illuminati and all of those too.
Some pieces of evidence that go with that one are the all-seeing eye on the U.S.
Yep.
dollar bill,
That's
global
right.
elite meetings like Bilderberg and World Economic Forum,
Yep. Yep.
pop stars accused of signaling allegiance with hand signs, symbolism, and lyrics, and theories that wars and economic collapses are all engineered to centralize power.
Yeah, I believe it. That's just what I was just trying to say. Exactly. I'm glad you cleared a lot of that up because I can't remember all of that, but it's all about power and control. And nobody who's got their power and control. Look, I watch Supergirl, and you guys can laugh at me if you want, but I like Supergirl. Well, there was a guy that they Leviathan or whatever they called themselves in this one show, and they've been here for 10,000 years or something like that. So nobody wants to lose their edge, their control. It's just the way it goes. You know what I mean?
Next one is Jeffrey Epstein and elite trafficking rings.
Well, as wise guys, I could say that we don't like. I don't believe we'll have anything to do with people who do stuff with young children. We're not into that.
You don't think the mafia had any, or I'm sorry, you don't think Jeffrey Epstein had any ties with the mafia at all?
Uh, if he did, it would be more like a business thing, like as far as maybe running, videos and stuff like that. Maybe illicit porn, maybe of some kind. Like they don't care what's on it, but they just maybe distribute it or money things. But they don't really get into that. Like they'll do strip bars and they'll do regular legal porn and stuff like that. But I don't know if they would have anything to do with him like that, especially if I don't really know if he was a pedophile or not. I can't believe everything the government tells you. It might have been true or not. I don't know. But we don't like anything like that with kids and stuff like that. We don't divulge in that. But, did he have an island? There was also another thing that said he worked for some sort of an organization where he actually wanted to set up all these politicians and stuff like that to have leverage on them. That could be true too. I don't really think he killed himself in the prison because I was in these prisons like he was. And there's cameras, there's the COs. Isn't it weird how two COs are sleeping and no camera was on at the right time? I'm like, that's such like nonsense.
They said that the guards fell asleep, both of them, and
Yeah.
the cameras malfunctioned that night.
Yeah, yeah. How convenient. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't they? Every time somebody gets beat up in there, how come the cameras ain't on then too? You know what I mean? Yeah. He was set up, if anything, and he was probably because of what he did or the magnitude of the people he was setting up, if not or whatever, knew. Yeah, he wouldn't kill himself. A guy like that's not going to want to kill himself. You know what I mean? He's got too much to live for. If that's the way I look at it. But who knows? Okay, hit me with another one.
The next one is the Mandela effect.
The Mandela.
Yeah, the Mandela effect is a phenomenon where groups of people, large groups of people, remember things happening differently. For example, Nelson Mandela dying in prison, or him not dying in prison. So some people remember that he died in prison. Some people that they'd never recall that.
You know, it's kind of weird. I don't know much about that, but I do know 5 people can be looking at the same accident, say, and then 5 people have 5 different stories. So maybe that's something what you're talking about a little bit, because, you know, listen, some people say this was blue, the other person says it was red. You know what I mean?
Well, the theory is rooted in like the alternate timeline theory or the parallel universe theory, where sometimes parallel universes might cross over into one another, and therefore, you know, maybe that's why some people do remember Nelson Mandela dying.
Okay.
Other examples of the Mandela effect are the Berenstain Bears versus Berenstain Bears. Do you remember that cartoon?
I heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people remember it as AIN or EIN. Depends. So
Wow.
there's lots of examples like that. You know the Fruit of the Loom logo?
Yeah.
Some people remember it with a cornucopia, and some people remember it without a cornucopia.
Never even thought about that. Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of examples of it. It's a
Oh,
an
wow.
interesting phenomenon.
Yeah, that I never knew that. I mean, I do believe in time travel. I believe it's possible. I believe in other dimensions. Maybe that's the sci-fi lover in me, as I love sci-fi. I love all kinds of stuff to do with time travel. I've seen some people they had talked about walked into a woods and then was never seen again. Somebody was standing right near them or walking behind them, and then all of a sudden they just disappeared. Yeah, you know, I don't know why I believe in that stuff. Maybe the era I grew up. I don't know.
So another popular Mandela effect is, and I'm going to test you here on this one.
Okay.
When Darth Vader says to Luke, the famous father line, what do you remember it as?
He says, you don't mind if I just imitate it real quick? From what
Yeah,
I
go
remember,
for
he
it.
goes, Luke. He says, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He goes, he told me you killed him. He says, no, I am your father.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you remember it as, no, I am your father.
Yeah,
Well,
why?
millions of people remember it vividly as, Luke, I am your father.
Really?
Yes. So that's another example of the Mandela
Now I got to
effect.
watch this myself again just to see it again. Holy cow! Because I remember it very well because I saw it in the movie theater and I went like this. I was watching it with the guy my friend Pete had, where I talk about it a few times on the show, and I was like, whoa! We were like all shocked. Like it was a big deal to know that it was his father. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I remember I made fun of Star Wars when it first came out. I was like, who cares about this show? These people are so hyped up on it, right? So what happened was it went away, you know, it was at a movie theater and everything. They didn't have it on TV back then or whatever, or VHS back then or whatever. And so then all of a sudden it came back in the movie theater because they were getting ready to do Empire Strikes Back. So I said, let me go see this stupid show. I went with my friends. They said, you're going to like it. Wow. I saw it and and I loved it. And then a couple of months later, Empire Strikes Back came out, and I was like online waiting to get into the movie theater. So I only had to wait a few months, while most people had to wait a couple of years. But I'm going to look at that now.
Next one is the Denver International Airport theory.
What the heck is that?
So
I never
the
heard
official story is that it's just a major U.S. airport. The conspiracy theory is that there's something more going on, like something underneath it, secret CIA facility, something like that.
Oh, really?
Because it costs them billions and billions of dollars to build it, way more than a normal airport should cost to build, number one. Number two, there's a giant statue of a horse outside the airport. It's like a dark blue horse with red eyes.
that. Okay.
So people say it's demonic symbolism and stuff like that. Next part of it is that inside the airport, there's like very, very strange and eccentric murals.
Really?
Yeah, that people cite also as like kind of demonic influence and symbolism. So there's all these weird. It says here it actually cost $2 billion over budget.
Well, then there's a reason. If they say that it cost $2 billion over there, then there's something else going on. It's either one or two things. Either what they're saying is true underneath the place, they did something, or somebody pocketed money. Let's face it, something is $2 billion over. Yeah, something's going on there.
How do you miss the budget by $2 billion?
Yeah.
That's a huge miss.
Exactly. So, that's why either somebody profited on that or whatever the case may be.
So just two more pieces of kind of evidence that sparked discussion are that the runways from an aerial view look like a swastika.
Really?
That's what they're saying.
I never saw it. That's why I never
I'll flash a picture of it up on screen.
Yeah, because
here.
I never been to Denver, so I don't even know. To me, I'm like, all right,
And another thing also is that there's a time capsule there with the inscription "New World Airport Commission" on the time capsule, and that organization doesn't exist. If you look it up, it's not an organization that exists.
Well, like we go back to the coincidence things. All of those things are not there by coincidence. Then you know what I mean. So, I think there's something to it. Do I know for sure, or how do I feel about it? Yeah, I feel something. There's something to it for sure. Absolutely. What else you got?
Number 10 is big pharma suppression. The conspiracy is that they actually want you to stay sick so that they can make money off of you being sick and feed you more medicine.
100%, I agree that because look, there's that old Rockefeller thing where Rockefeller got involved with having the schools teach you what they wanted you to know, having you work. The new thing is like the thing back then was work. This is how you get money, and then they give you enough just to be happy, and then you work so hard that you get sick, and then all of a sudden he runs the drug pharmaceutical companies too. So, yeah, I do believe that 100%. Because listen, why are we sick today? Why we still can't look? How many times have you heard somebody cured cancer or whatever, and they died, or they're missing? They said they had a cure for AIDS, they got killed. Everybody that has these natural cures, I believe the earth itself has enough to cure, and our bodies also want to cure things too. So I believe that they're trying to keep us down, keep us killed. I mean, why is it? Look, you go like, okay, I got this disease. Okay, take this pill, but there's 1,000 side effects on it. You're better off with the disease and pray for the best. You know what I mean? Forget about it.
A few pieces of evidence here are that there's been many claims of natural cancer cures being hidden to protect profits.
Agreed.
Insulin prices in the United States are kept artificially high despite cheap production costs. Whistleblowers allege that pharma companies push treatments over cures, so they try to promote and sell the treatment rather than the cure.
Absolutely.
And also, just historic examples of this, tobacco companies suppressed research linking smoking to cancer. They lobbied against it to try to hide that.
Yep. Hey, I agree with. To be honest with you, I couldn't have said it better myself. I definitely agree with that, without a doubt. Because listen, if you started curing everybody, what are you going to need all the doctors for? Like just like when they used to have that. I was watching that movie Tucker. He invented a car that was so good. Of course, all the other car businesses wanted to see him go under. But I heard he made like 52 cars, and I heard like 50 of them are still running to this day. So give me a break. You know what I mean? You got any other ones on there or no?
The next one is the flat Earth theory.
Oh yeah, I did hear a little something. They said they still say that the Earth is flat. I heard that. Well, I don't know. They took. Even though they got pictures of the Earth, I don't know. It's weird. They show it. Sometimes it does look flat. But am I right or wrong? I mean, I don't know what they came up with, but their theories are behind it.
I'll tell you. So, flat earthers say horizons always appear flat, never curved. Mm-hmm. Airline flight paths are said to make more sense on a flat map.
Right.
NASA is accused of faking space imagery.
Wow.
I've heard of that one before.
Yeah.
They say that the pictures of planets you get are actually reproductions. They're just based off of like code that comes back from these satellites. They're not actual pictures like how a picture is taken with a normal camera. You hear stuff like that too. And also Antarctica is believed to be an ice wall holding the oceans in place.
That's what I heard too about the Antarctica too. And I don't trust the government for any real, I don't know what they keep hiding stuff from, well, at least the world, but definitely the American people. Why? Where's the benefit of not saying that the world is flat if it's flat? What is the scary thing about it? We have no choice. We're still living here. You know what I mean? What is it if something happens? What is it? The bad thing of saying that an alien spaceship crashed and we have it. What's the problem? What are we gonna do? Give them human rights too, or whatever? I don't understand the big secrecy. But if you found one, if you found the aliens, if you have this ship, if you have this stuff, why? Listen, it's living proof. Everybody wants proof of this, proof of that. So if you have it, don't hide it anymore. You know what I mean? Just it is what it is. At least that's the way I feel. That's even when we go back to my cooperation and everything. They had definitely knew some things, the FBI, about stuff that I knew, and I thought that only I knew, but they knew too. So, it's just I like the proof of it too, and I don't think it's necessary to hide. You know what I mean? But maybe for what they call national security, they hide it. You know what I mean? Who knows? You got another one?
The next one is Princess Diana's death.
Wow, I didn't really hear anything conspiracy about that, except that was just very tragic that she died. She should have never died. She should have never died. Now, was she murdered? Is that what they're trying to say?
Yeah, so the official story is that she died in a car crash due to reckless driving and paparazzi pursuit behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And the conspiracy part of it is that she was murdered because they didn't want her to marry into the royal family. And so here's some of the pieces of evidence.
Wasn't she married already, though, to the royal family?
They didn't like that she was.
Oh, okay.
So some of the pieces of evidence is that Dodi Fade's father claimed MI6 planned it to prevent Diana from marrying into his family. There's also reports of a mysterious bright flash before the crash, claims that her seatbelt was tampered with, and also she'd reportedly spoken about being targeted shortly before her death.
Wow. Well, then, you know something? I didn't really hear about any of this. I just know that it was just sad that she died like that.
Well, this was in 97. When were you in prison?
I got out in 95.
Okay.
So, I was already out, yeah. But, listen, anything's possible, bro. Anything is possible. Could it really be something that we don't know, somebody behind the scenes? Listen, powerful people can get things taken care of because they're powerful. And, look, after all these years with that JFK thing, they still didn't really solve anything, things can be hidden. Are they getting closer to it? I'm sure something will come out sooner or later. But, listen, it's possible. All I know is that
once all those people are dead, I think it'll come out.
Yeah.
It's still too soon.
Exactly.
All those people that were involved got to die first. I think it'll come out.
Yeah, but it was a shame. I actually liked Princess Diana. She was, she must have had it rough too, in her own way,
The next conspiracy theory is HAARP and artificial weather control.
Oh, I've heard about that too. They can change the weather when they want now, yeah.
So HAARP is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. It's a scientific project studying the ionosphere, which is a part of the atmosphere. Some people say that they manipulate the weather, they cause earthquakes, and they can even control minds. So a crazier part of it. It's been tied to strange weather events like increased hurricane activity and tsunamis. If you remember last year, the amount of hurricanes that were active at one time, I think it was a new record.
Yep.
The amount of active hurricanes in the Caribbean at one time. Florida got hit by like 4 of them. Or it was the same one that came back and hit it twice, and then they got hit with like 2 more.
I'm trying to think, what's the benefit of trying to control the weather? I would think that you would want to make it nicer, don't have these kind of bad weathers, try to, people drown, people get killed by hurricanes, there's destruction. I would think that if you wanted to control the weather, it would be for a good thing, not a bad thing. But yet, it's like anything else. These people, they have power over something. They can control it. What's something that could be meant for good, they'll find a way to make it to be harmful. You know what I mean? I think that, look what they did in Cuba or something. People went over there and they came back. They said they had headaches. They lost hearing and stuff like that too. mind control stuff. Yeah, I believe all of that stuff. Listen, as much as we live in this country and it's a great country, don't get me wrong. I'm happy I'm here, born here, and everything like that. But there's a lot of messed up things going on in this country too. Do I, do I know everything? Does anybody know anything? Everything? No. But I wouldn't put it past anybody to do bad things with something that could really was meant for good to turn it around to be bad. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, give me the next one.
Next one is the Georgia Guidestones, and they are it was a granite monument erected in Georgia in 1980.
Something about the future or something like that, or something about...
So it's a set of stones that, like I said, it was built in 1980.
Okay.
Commissioned by a mysterious man using the pseudonym R.C. Christian. His real identity remains unknown. It's nicknamed America's Stonehenge, and it was also bombed and destroyed in July 2022 and then removed completely. So on the Guidestone was inscriptions engraved in 8 languages with a whole lot of like really messed up and kind of crazy like rules for humanity almost. So
Really?
first one is maintain humanity under 500 million in population to achieve perpetual balance with nature.
Wow.
So I mean, if you could think we're at 8 billion right now, they're saying we should remain under 500 million. So 500 million.
I think Bill Gates, excuse me, subscribes to that. I think that's what I heard too through the ranks. I did hear about this monument, but I didn't know it was destroyed in 2022.
So the second one, there's a couple of things here that it says
Okay.
on it. It says guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity, and what that is like it's like eugenics, like gene, like almost like what Hitler was with the Aryan race type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Those types of themes.
Right.
Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason.
Wow.
Protect. It's just there's a few more like that just go on. They're basically like dystopian and like authoritarian like laws that humanity should live by.
Like a new world order.
Like a new world order.
Okay,
Exactly.
yeah. Wow, that's pretty wild, though. I did hear, I didn't know the extent of it, but I did hear something about it. But, yeah, I didn't know that much about it. How about we go on to the next one, then?
The next one is time travel.
I was saying that earlier. I do believe in time travel. As a matter of fact, Einstein said something about if you go faster than the speed of light, time slows down. But I like the concept of going back into time and going forward in time. Is that possible or not? I don't know. I just was watching something on TV about a guy who he was in the tomb back in the past, and he was working on something with the government, but he showed himself in the past, and he actually showed himself in the future, and then we didn't discover it until the future, and that he said he would be there. I don't know, it was weird. I can't explain it, but it was something on Netflix. I was either watching some kind of thing, but I do believe in time travel. That's just the way I am. You got anything on the time travel thing? What does it say on that?
So the official story is that time travel is not yet scientifically possible. Keyword being yet, because it's been theorized that it would be possible if you can go, like you said, if you can go faster than the speed of light.
Right.
But that's only in, I believe that's only in reverse. Because when you're moving that fast, I'm not an expert on this, but I believe when you're moving that fast, the theory is that time slows down so that when you stop moving that fast, you're actually behind. Everybody else has moved. Right. Like on with their lives 10 years ahead of you. And you know what I mean? Something like that.
Well, then was it Methuselah or something like that too? He supposedly went to sleep at a tree or something, and then he woke up and it was like 200 years later. He didn't recognize anybody or something like that too. So are there, there's certain stuff I think even in the Bible about somebody who went away and then they came back and it was a different time. So who knows, I happen to like the theory of that because that's how I am. Like I said, I'm always into that sci-fi stuff. But, we might even be able to still do it now, and we'll never know if it's true. Well, with that, guys, I hope you like this episode. Let me know in the comments. I could definitely stick to the wise guy stuff if you need it. But you guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Check out the Patreon channel, and we'll see you again soon on the Goodfellow Podcast. Peace and love. Have a great week.